theater review understands financial costs. The reviewer understands the impact of finances on a production and how that is used to its fullest or how it becomes a barrier to excellence. A theater that has funds may squander or misdirect them. An indie production may have a very low budget, and the reviewer will assess how this use of the money was to affect the success of the production. And that's so true. I just interviewed the man who wrote Brothers Paranormal, and he said he has seen every major production of that play in the States. And it's gone from theaters who had tons of money to theaters who had very small budgets. And there's that whole ghost thing that is so vital to the success of that production. And he says even the theaters that had small budgets were able to make the audience gasp and sometimes scream. And that's, that's when you want to give that theater all the credit in the world. And we see that so often in the indie theaters where they have absolutely zilch to work with, and yet they make magic happen. And that's what a director and a company does. They make magic happen with their ingredients.
Yeah. And it's equally infuriating when there's a $2 million budget and you blew it all on X when it really should have been on Y. And what were you thinking?
We've seen that way too often with our major theaters, where they've spent the money on the wrong thing, absolutely the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I mean, productions where we've gone, all that money, and it's not on the stage. And that's what especially with our companies that do have money, and companies that get grants, and you go and you say, all right, I want to see that money on that stage. And sometimes we don't. We really don't. It's one thing to have gorgeous costumes and gorgeous set, but if your acting is flawed, if your directing is flawed, if you haven't really, we can't see the work that went into producing that, then that money was really not well spent.
I think that happens in casting sometimes too. You pay for the name or the person to come in, and really, are there better actors in Calgary that we could have brought in or we could have used? Absolutely.
We see that way too often, and I won't mention companies we're not going to, but yes, you're importing actors, and we have better actors right here. The opposite happens when you bring in an actor from Stratford or something to do a specific role, and you probably know which one I'm referring to, and she was magnificent. You go, every penny you spent bringing that woman in was worth it, because she made the play sparkle. And as one of these actors that you're bringing in from another, that should be uppermost in their mind. I'm coming in at a bigger expense. I better show this community that I'm worth every penny that they've spent on me. And that is the actor's job.
Sadly, sometimes they come in and they think that Calgary is the backwoods, and they don't give it their all, right?
Yeah.
They're just getting the paycheck, which is...
Yeah, we get that too often from the Toronto actors.
Yeah.
And yet, we have actors who make them pale by comparison.